Hello, I'm Brad Burkhart, fishing pro staff for the Sevierville Bass Pro Shops. I'm also a fishing guide here on our local lakes, an educator, a husband, and also a father. And what I want to talk to you about today is the kids that we have at my high school that got me fired up into creating a high school fishing team. Cumberland Gap High School sits on the border of the Cumberland Gap National Park. And most of our students at the high school doesn't have the opportunity to go fishing on a daily basis. What this club does is it provides that opportunity to those students. And from there, it has exploded in our area. At the Bass Pro Shops in Sevierville, we've started our own high school trail devoted solely to the kids in our surrounding high schools to compete against each other for prizes and also some scholarships along the way. So hang tight, and we're going to show you what we got going on to get you involved. We set up a meeting at the Bass Pro Shops in Sevierville, and we invited every high school in our area and their representatives to come and learn how they could start a high school fishing team at their school. Myself, Joe Lee, Ott Defoe, Dwayne Wilson, Nathan Light from 3B Outdoors even agreed to show up and devote an entire segment of his television show just to film our night, to get the information out to the public more. Chris Vaden at the Bass Pro Shops in Sevierville has been nothing but helpful and has not hesitated in 1 minute to help in any way. And listen, don't let anybody fool you. Gail Chesney, she's been the driving force behind this thing, because without Gail, we could not be where we are today. Now we've got the intro out of the way, let's hear from some of the best well-known anglers in the profession today, along with some clips from our high school night at the Bass Pro Shops in Sevierville.
It's really neat to see it, you know, a lot of high schools really getting into this. You know, it's something that it's not been that long since I was in school, and it was kind of it was talked about a little bit then, but it never came together. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter how much the kids want it, because you can get it done if you're in a school and you want it to happen. But to have the teachers and the principals and those kind of people behind you to really push for you to help to get it done really means a lot.
Hey, Timmy Horton here. In talking about high school and college fishing teams, that's one of the cooler movements that's happening in our sport. You know, there's so much that is keeping kids indoors right now with all of the technology, computers, you know, Facebook, everything that's happening. I see kids always looking at their phones, always indoors, and they're not getting outside as much. Well, now we've got this movement that's happening with competition. We're starting to see a youth movement again with these anglers, both young boys and girls, getting outside and starting to fish. And it's really a cool concept. You know, I can remember back when I was growing up, and the influences that happened with me was a lot of high school administration. You know, obviously my dad took me fishing, but I had my head football coach, my head basketball coach. They were all big outdoorsmen. And that was something we shared in common, and during the off season went fishing a lot. And that was a lot of the influence that mentored me to where, you know, I was able to strive and do something, you know, in the outdoors for a living. So it was a real big influence, and I see nothing but positive things. This is the future of our sport, and all of these events that are participating in high school and college athletics is huge.
Hey, Kevin Van Dam here, and we're at the Bass Pro Shops, and one of the really neat things that I'm seeing an awful lot of is the advent of a lot of high school and college fishing teams, you know, and it's just been it's been tremendous. We've actually got guys out on the Elite Series now that started in this program, so it's really changing our sport. It's a great movement that I think all of us are excited to see. You know, when I was in high school, I actually got in trouble for going fishing, you know, missing school and things like that. So now to have actually organized fishing where, you know, these kids can go out there as a team, you know, with their buddies and have that camaraderie on the water and have it in that format and have it an organized event. It's unbelievable. You know, you see these kids show up, they're dressed professionally, they're learning how to speak in front of crowds. A lot of things that'll help them, you know, down the road, whether they become professional anglers or if they're just professionals in any career. So I'm really excited about this movement, and it's just been really strong, and it's great to see how it's growing each year.
Hey guys, this is Fred Rambanis, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro, FLW Touring Pro, and PA Touring Pro. And I'm here to tell you guys, you know, I grew up in California. I grew up just outside of San Francisco. Bass fishing was relatively unknown as far as a profession where I grew up. My dad drove cable cars, my mom worked in the city, and we did have some nice reservoirs nearby. I grew up walking the banks, and never actually had the opportunity to step foot on a bass boat until I graduated high school. So I had not stepped on a boat until I was 18 years old. At that time, I joined a bass club. and we had real small bass clubs around the area. But I grew an impression into bass fishing at a really early age, watching guys, back then it was on TNN, watching guys like Denny Brower and Rick Clunn and Kevin Van Dam, and, who are still on top of their game. But having heroes like that, guys that influence you through your life, that's what really took me to the next level and wanting to pursue it as a career, knowing that there were people out there doing what you love. And having an opportunity like you got right now, being able to go out there and fish on a high school team, get an opportunity to go on a bass boat on these high performance machines and catch fish, I mean, that's something that I didn't get. And I'll tell you what, if you stick with it, one day you'll be standing in my shoes.
We had 75 to 100 people show up representing high schools around our Bass Pro Shops there in Sevierville. But the thing is, none of them knew that when they left that night, each one of them was going to leave with a rod and a reel, a tackle bag, and some tackle to go fishing. That's how you kickstart an event.
We're going to open up door 2, and then we're going to drag some of this stuff out here that you guys are going to get to take home. So just kind of bear with us. We've got to roll it out here. What I want you all to do is remember how you felt tonight when somebody gave you some little something or some big something to help you learn how to become a better fisherman. One of these days when you get to the point where that you can help somebody else, remember this day and you try to pass it along and help them get started. So give all these guys and everybody one more big round of applause for the night, and then y'all good to go.
Hi, I'm Daniel Baldwin, and I've been fishing for quite a while, but I didn't really know much about the tournaments until last year when Brad Burkhart started the fishing team over at Cumberland Gap High School. And ever since he's done that, it's really helped me learn more about bass fishing in particular. I've went forth and started my own YouTube channel about fishing, and I'm learning more about the BFL and doing more tournaments in that. I'm learning more about sponsorship programs, and I'm looking forward to go fishing for the University of Tennessee next year. So thanks to you, Brad Burkhart, and starting that team. It's really helped me a lot. Thanks, buddy.
The young man in the video was a former student of mine at Cumberland Gap High School, and he was one of the first kids we had on the roster for the team. He's a rising junior now at the University of Tennessee, and although that some of his dreams maybe didn't pan out, some of his direction has changed, he fishes at every chance he gets. He even had the opportunity of saving a man's life from drowning just by being at the right place at the right time and fishing. See, that's what this thing does. Fishing goes far much deeper than a floater, a rod and reel, or some line. Fishing actually saved a man's life. Now, you can say directly or indirectly, but it happened. So, Daniel, thanks, man, and keep fishing. In 2013, we started our Bass Pro Shops High School Tournament Series right here on a local lake, and we had around 42 boats. Our third season getting ready to kick off this coming school year, we're averaging over 60 boats with a high of 70 last year. As an educator at Cumberland Gap High School, I hear what goes on in those boats when those boys and those girls come back to school and talk about it the next day. Monday morning chat session is the best thing ever. These kids are getting opportunities to do things that they would have never got. Some of these boat captains that come and provide their time for these kids and take them fishing, they really don't know the impact that they're having on these kids. I hear the stories about my boat captain gave me a rain suit to wear because I didn't have one. These kids didn't even have a rain suit. A former student of mine was failing, was not going to graduate. The diploma was not in sight. But when we started this club, when he got involved in this club, it gave him a reason to show up in class every day. That student got his diploma. That student is working in my community right now. Those are the things that come from this event. From these fishing tournaments where most people think you're just fishing, catching fish, you're competing against your buddies, and you do, and that's all well and good. But this thing is bigger than that. It's providing leadership and guidance for a lot of young men and women that don't maybe have it that they should at home. And it's also providing lasting friends. fishing and friends. What better way to spend a Saturday? We could not have been at this point in our trail without Chris Vaden or Gail Chesney. Also, Billy Harmon at the store. He has been a huge source of information to help us, along with recruiting high schools in our area. Everybody at the Bass Pro Shops in Sevierville has been nothing but helpful. You know, growing up, the time that I spent with my dad in the boat is time that I'll have for the rest of my life. But here's what I'm asking. Become more involved. Give us more resources. Because not only do I get to see the smiling faces on Saturday at weigh-ins, I get to hear what they talk about on Monday mornings in school. When they talk about how much their boat captain cared for them, talk to them. These are friendships that will last a lifetime. So, not only do we want to be involved, let's make a huge impact for our next generation of anglers coming on. Again, thank you. My name is Brad Burkhart. Have a great day.